virtual machine. So what is virtual machine? Types of virtual machine. Then architecture of virtual machine. So this is one point regarding to the virtual machine. Then advantages and disadvantages of your virtual machine and some of the examples of virtual machine. So what is actually virtual machine? It is a software implementation of machine that execute programs like a physical machine. This what happens here. Suppose a single machine is there and suppose 5 users are there. They want to execute any program and they should feel that it is a physical machine. So we are creating a 5 virtual machine for the 5 users using the software base. That is called as a virtual machine. Virtual machine provides an interface identical to underlying bare hardware. So what suppose you are given the example. One OS is Ubuntu OS, second OS, second user was Windows OS. So we are implementing a software-based Windows OS for that user. He will find that no other user is executing. So we are creating 5 machines from a single machine with the help of virtual machine. So operating system creates the illusion of multiple processes, each executing on its own processor with its own memory. Means suppose you are having 200 GB memory. So it will create 50 GB memory for the 4 users. Likewise, each and everyone will have its own processor and own memory, and they will execute on that machine. But we are having only one single machine. We are creating more than one machine for the remaining user with the help of some software. That is called as a virtual machine. Then types of virtual machine. There are 2 types of virtual machine: system virtual machine, and second one is a process virtual machine. So in system virtual machine, it is a hardware virtual machine which provides a complete system platform environment which supports the execution of complete operating system. Means what is this system will consist of? It will consist of its memory, IO, then you have the processor, and each one OS. Suppose OS will be for specific. I mean, suppose 4 users, some user will work on Ubuntu, second user works on Windows, third may go for the Linux. Likewise, they will create the illusion of a single system. So it is a hardware based. Second one is a process virtual machine, application virtual machine, which provides a platform independent programming environment that abstracts away details of underlying hardware or operating system from software or application runtime. Now what happens in process virtual machine? We are creating the environment. The user does not know what type of hardware or what type of operating systems are used. In simple, they will get the platform in which they will perform their operation. Again, we are creating different types of process virtual machine. Suppose 5 process virtual machines are created from a single one. So only application will be created. The user will not know what is the operating system is used, what type of hardware is used, how much is the memory, what type of processor is used. Underlying architecture is not known to that user. He will have only what? Application. While in the system virtual machine, a virtual machine will be actual virtual machine for the user. He will have his own memory, he will have own processor. You are getting this? System virtual machine and process virtual machine. Okay. An example. So hardware virtual machine is your VMware, Xen, and VirtualBox. So these are the examples of your hardware virtual machine. An application or process virtual machine, Java, virtual JVM, .NET frameworks are the virtual application virtual machine. So these are the examples of your system virtual machine and process virtual or application virtual machine. Okay. So this is the architecture. Let's see the diagram. So what is here? A diagram. There is a hardware, there is a kernel, and there are the processes. So we are creating 3 virtual machines. Programming interface with the help of program or with the help of software. So here is your in diagram B. Here is your hardware. Then virtual machine implementation. New layer is added. Virtual machine interface. So VM virtual machine 1, virtual machine 2, virtual machine 3. So how many machines are made in the diagram? 3 machines are made. Each one will have memory. Suppose you have virtual machine 1. It will have its own memory. It will have its processor. Then second same and third also same. Likewise, they will execute. Here user 1 will execute, then here user 2 will execute, and here user 3 will execute. So from single machine, we are creating the three machine that is called as a virtual machine. Okay, and in this there are two types that I have explained. That is a system which consists of all the platform, hardware and complete OS platform. In the second one, in the process, only software is there. No underlying hardware is known to the user. So that is a process virtual. Okay, these are the examples. Advantages of virtual machine: familiar interface. Interface is same as your machine. The simple PC. Then isolation. Each OS runs separately with its own virtual resource. So each user will interact with its own OS. There will be no interference or interfere of first OS to the second OS. So iOS is isolated. Then high availability. If one virtual machine server is failed, then easily access data from another one. So if any virtual machine gets failed, we can access the second, or we can create another virtual machine from the existing system. We can execute our process or any function on that machine. And scalability, add or remove resource easily. We can add the resource. It may be the IO resource, memory resource, or file resource can be added and removed easily. So it is more scalable. Backup with fast recovery. Using virtual machine, we can decay. Data recovery tools is there. So data can be stored and easily recovered. And reduction of cost. It saves cost by running multi OS on a single machine. I explained it before only. Means your machine is having Windows operating system. We can run different type of operating system on your virtual machine. You can run Symbian OS, you can run Mac OS, you can run Linux OS, Ubuntu OS. Any machine, any operating system can be run on a single machine using virtual machine. Sharing of hardware. So you want to share the printers, so all OS. Suppose 5 OS is created of virtual machine. We can share all the 5 OS hardware with this 5 OS. We can share with Ubuntu also. We can share with Windows also. So sharing of hardware can be easily done. So it will reduce the cost. So these are some advantages of virtual machine. Disadvantage of virtual machine: difficulty in direct access to hardware. Then second one is great RAM consumption, since each virtual machine will occupy a separate area of same. So RAM consumption is more because we have to give access to more than one machine for that RAM. So RAM consumption is more. Great use of disk space. Again, your 200 GB memory will be created. Means you are having 5 machines. Means how many 40 GB we are creating or sharing using virtual machine. So great use of disk space, since it takes all the files for each operating system installed on each virtual machine. Virtual machine is less efficient than actual machine when it accesses the host hard drive indirectly. Okay, so these are some disadvantages. Some popular virtual machine software. So you have heard VMware, that is virtual machine workstation, VMware. Then Xen by Xen organization. Then VirtualBox is there. Then Critics is there, and KVMR. So these are some examples of your virtual machine software. So VMware, one example. VMware Workstation is the most dependable, high-performing, future-rich virtualization platform for Windows and Linux PC. It allows one physical PC to run multiple operating systems at the same time. So we can run any type of operating system with the VMware. No restarting or hard drive partition is required. Software developers rely on workstation to develop and test client, server, web and cloud application in replica of their production environment. So using VMware, we can create number of machines from a single machine, and we can install any type of OS on the that machine with the help of VMware software or creation of virtual machine. So this is structure: virtual machine, open virtual machine, connect to remote server, create virtual machine. So using VMware beta version, we can create the new virtual machine and open that virtual machine. This five students can easily execute on five different operating systems, connect to remote server and help this work. So this is general structure of virtual machine workstation or virtual machine software. What are the benefits of VMware? Access anytime and anywhere. You can access that virtual machine with the help of virtual VMware anytime and anywhere. Run application in Windows, Linux, and other system at the same time without restarting. Remote access virtual machine running on a VMware. We can access remote system also or remote virtual machine. Run as a server to host application for your team, department, or anyone in your organization. Means suppose you are having Unix labs, the server is running, host server, then different labs. Suppose you go for digital lab, a network lab. The user can access their workstation. User can access the server from the host server from the different lab also. Create virtual machines that are encrypted, block USB devices, and have read-only settings. So we can provide the security also with the help of encryption. We can block USB devices and we can have read-only setting. Only we cannot modify. Only reading can be done. No modification can be done. So these are key benefits of VMware. Then Xen is a virtual machine monitored by AI32, which is having x86 processor, 64-bit processor, PowerPC 970 architecture. It allows several guest operating systems to execute on a same computer hardware concurrently. So simultaneous execution can be done in a Xen machine. Xen was initially created by University of Cambridge Computer Laboratory and is now developed and maintained by the Xen community. And it is a free software. No license is required. As well as Critics Xen Server commercial version variant, a several part of Amazon.com cloud computing platform. EC2 allows users to rent virtual computer on which to run their own computer application. So this will reduce the organization cost also, because from a single machine we are creating a multiple virtual machine. So we have to invest for single one, and more than one machine can be executed, can be used for execution of different application. So that will reduce the cost of development for that organization. So this is a second example of virtual machine. So this is a Xen architecture. So Solaris operating system and your OS. So these are the three types of OS. Then using hypervisor, we are and hardware. We are interfacing with the hardware and physical layer. Then hypervisor layer and virtual machine layer. So here we are installing three operating systems. The user will executing different operating system. It will have its own memory and processor. So hardware and physical layer. Physical hardware components which will include CPU, network cards, and disk driver. And hypervisor layer, this layer of software that runs on top of the hardware. The Xen hypervisor gives each virtual machine a dedicated view of the hardware. Means suppose you are having the Solaris OS. Solaris cannot get its own CPU and the memory. So he cannot interfere with the Windows one. So they will feel that they are having their own hardware and own software. for the execution, memory and processor. They will feel they are singly working on that machine. And virtual machine layer, the OS hosted on a hypervisor and appearing to the user as a separate physical computer. However, the machines share physical resource with other virtual machine, and it is portable because the virtual machine is abstracted from the physical hardware. So they are hardware independent. Okay. So this is the end of your virtual machine. Have got this?
Yes, sir.
Any difficulty? So shell programming will go. So there are different types of shell. Bourne shell is there, C shell is there, Corn shell is there. By default, you are using the Bourne shell. So shell program, so you are writing any command. Same in your DOS also, you are writing a command. But at a single time, you are writing a single command in DOS operating system. While shell programming, same is your DOS operating system. But what happens? Shell will interface the user command to your kernel using the shell. So what is kernel? Kernel is the heart of operating system that we already studied. So how to interface the shell with the kernel? It manages resource of Linux operating system. Resource means facilities available in a Linux. For example, facility to store data, print data on printer, memory, and file management. I have explained you already regarding to the kernel, architecture of kernel, and how kernel will use in operating system. So kernel decides who will use this resource for how long and when. It runs your program or set up the executed binary file. So that is a function of kernel. Which type of resource should be given to that process, for how much time that resource should be given to that process. Likewise, all the operation will be performed with the help of kernel only. So the kernel acts as a intermediary between the computer hardware and various program application, and here is your shell. So which your command user is giving, that will be interacted with the computer hardware with the help of your shell or application or your program. So that is will require the shell. Okay. So user request is given to the shell, then it will given to the Linux kernel, and then here will be specify what operation you want to perform, and here is your computer hardware. So shell is a interface between user and Linux kernel. All the commands. Suppose I want to write the command ls or who or who am I. So these are the commands in Linux operating system. So user will write the command on the shell, and shell will give it to the Linux kernel, and then the feedback will be given or the response will be given from the Linux kernel with the help of computer hardware to the user. Okay. So kernel, it resides in it's a memory resident portion of a Linux. It performs following tasks: I/O management, process management, device management, file management, and memory management. So this will be performed by the kernel. I/O management, input output, device management, process creation, process termination, all regarding to the process management. And device management, allocate the device, deallocate the device, file allocation, delete the file, append the file, modify the file, all file management operation will be performed. And memory, allocation of memory, deallocation of memory. So that are the functions performed by the kernel in a operating system with the help of shell in Linux operating system. Shell is present in a Ubuntu or Linux or Unix variant only. Shell is not present in a Windows operating system. Now actual definition of shell. So shell is a program that takes command typed by the user and calls the operating system to run those commands. Okay, whichever command is written on a shell will be executed, or which will be executed using giving the system call to the operating system with the help of kernel. The shell is a program that acts as a interface between you, means your user, and the Linux system, allowing you to enter command for OS to execute. Now, suppose I write the command chmod or who. What will be the output? Who means it will specify the current user in a system, different user who are logging into a system. And second command, suppose who am I? It will give the specification of the current user who will log in into that system. So that command will be executed by the OS with the help of shell. Shell accept your instruction or command in English and translate it into the computer native binary language. Why we require to use the shell? You can use shell script to automate administrative tasks. Means using shell script means using different types of command. You can create the program. That program is called as a shell program or shell script. Encapsulate complex configuration details. Get all the full power of operating system. The ability to combine commands allows you to create the new command. You heard pipe is there, tail is there, head is there, grape is there, ls is there, ch mode is there, date is there, time is there. Then these are some commands in a there are a number of commands in Linux operating system. So these are some examples of commands. So we can create a file using the command. We can create a program. That program is called as a shell program, and we can execute that shell program to develop some application. Then adding values to your operating system. Now, kinds of shells. So there are 5 types of shell. Bourne shell is by default. Bourne shell, C shell, corn shell, bash shell, and last one is a TC shell, TCHS shell. So these are the 5 types of shell. In your you want to operate system 19.4, we are using in the college. We are having a Bourne shell. We can find which shell you are executing. Then C shell is there, corn shell, bash shell, and TCHS shell. So how to change the shell? So to find all the variables available shells in your system, type the following command. So this command is used cat. Cat command. It will display the information. Suppose cat snd.c. So it will display the C file, snd.c file that you are created. So using cat. So where is etc? So this is a directory, and in that there are shell. If you write this command, it will give all the shells available in your system. The basic syntax. So ch, then username sndid, new default shell. So it will specify the default shell which is you are executing or you are working. The administrator can change your default shell. So by default the shell is Bourne shell. This is what shell does for use. Means you are command or shell script. You know what is shell script? We are creating a program which will consist of different shell commands, and we are executing that script is nothing but the shell script. Your command or shell program or shell script. Then you are writing that in a Linux shell and converted to the binary language by shell. So that is a function of shell, conversion of your command, which is in English, into the binary language. Now Linux kernel understand your request, means which command you are given. Suppose this is an example. ls is a command, date is a command, then cat file.txt. Cat will display the contents of file.txt. So what is bash? So you are giving that input to the bash file, a bash shell, by default bash shell. Then it will be converted by the shell and it will go into the Linux kernel. Linux kernel will give the output on your monitor. Okay.